Hello, guys, and what's up? This is your boy, the Black Oni, coming to you today just to say hello and hope everyone had a great day. If you didn't, once again, I am so sorry about that. But let's get started. So, have you ever had a day, or maybe we all have these days where we feel like something or someone is watching us? But what if you're not 100% sure that someone is watching you? Well, I'm going to bring up a couple few little stories of mine of people I've actually caught looking at me and made their life a little bit awkward. All right, starting with the first one. Normally at work, me and my wife, we always tend to, enter into the break room together and all that stuff. And it's just like every single time we notice that it seems like all eyes are on us. And I'm not sure how many people know that we're together or not, but it's just always so funny to see that. And the most thing I've always wanted to do is catch one of the people who are looking at me, walk up to them and just ask them how their day is going and just talk to them. Like, just, I don't know how awkward that would be, but just to really sit down and just talk to that person to figure out, maybe they have a type of question they want to ask me. Maybe they want to ask me, is that my girlfriend? Or maybe they want to ask me, do you know this person? Or are you guys best friends? Whatever. I wouldn't mind that. I think a lot of times and a lot of reasons people stare at you is because either they don't really know you, maybe it's something odd about you, maybe they want to, tell you that you have something on your pants, or maybe you have something on your back of your shirt that says like "kick me" or something. You never know why a person is really staring at you, or maybe they're just daydreaming. It happens all the time. But a lot of times we tend to get irritated and upset about that, and with no real reason of being upset at that at all. So I would always just tell you guys, even today, let's take a second and think about why a person's staring at us. Maybe they're not staring at us at all. Maybe they're just daydreaming in our direction. All right, another story that I've actually had happen, which was kind of hilarious, is, and I think this happens to a lot of people, is you're sitting in your car and people are walking by, and it's just like they cannot take their eyes off of you, like as they're walking by. Like, how weird is that? Like, you just enjoying yourself, you getting ready to go, or you just want to sit in your car on break or something like that, and someone's just like looking at you, walking by, but just all up in your car and in your face, trying to figure out what's your life about. So, like, I would love to hear, you guys' stories about that. And not only that, but another story that actually had me like thinking a while back too was, and this is an urban legend, so I'm just gonna throw it out there, but have any of you guys ever heard of the Black Eyed Kids? Apparently you don't notice that they have black eyes because normally they have like a hoodie or shades on or something like that. But the thing is, just say no. Close your door, whatever you do, because these kids will always try to get in wherever you at. A majority of the time, they will ask for a ride. They'll ask to come in your house and all that. Mind you, this is an urban legend. This isn't true, but there are plenty things you can actually pull up on it. It's quite terrifying, really. It's even gotten to the point where they even made a comic book based off of the Black Eyed Kids. And I think it's this a crazy thing, definitely with urban legends. Like, because, some people would always say, if it's a legend or something, it has to have some type of truth behind it. So maybe there is a such thing as them. Maybe there are rare occurrences. But like I said, you can find it all over the web. Like, you can look them up. It's like one of the most creepiest things you'll ever see in your life. Some of the most craziest stories you'll ever see as well. But Yeah, like that's one of the things I've always been kind of intrigued with like horror and supernatural type thing, but really wouldn't dive into it. Like I've been ghost hunting, once before, multiple times with my cousin and a couple few of my friends and associates. And one thing that we really noticed when we got there was this type of atmosphere that really made us feel uneasy. But we continued, we pushed on, and then, like I said, other things were happening. We were doing what we pretty much looked out and looked up to do, like we studied on. So the first thing we did was we got our audio recorders out. Second thing we ended up doing was making sure that our batteries and our cameras and everything, we made sure all our gear was good to go before we had left our vehicles to actually catch this footage. We were hoping to catch something. So what ended up coming out of it is the times that we didn't record is when we actually got the most activity. One being the experience that me and another associate ended up having, where we both witnessed the exact same thing because we were talking to one another. We were standing on a hill and we see this, what we think is a man holding something, and it seems like he throws it. As we get ready to turn our heads to prepare for something like, I guess like a childish attack or something, the guy and whatever it was thrown at us is gone. Like there was no proof of that. Like it was gone. And I remember I just told him, I was like, hey, yo, you go get these people real quick, bring them over here. I ended up walking up, telling my cousin what happened. He ended up already telling the people and other associates that were with us what had happened. And our stories were, like I said, neck and neck, pretty much the exact same. We both had the same description of what we assumed what this man was. We both experienced something being thrown at us. We just did not have any footage nor anything recorded of it. But like I said, it was really crazy. We got ready to actually start filming and actually doing the EMPs and stuff. Next thing you know, our batteries started to die. Next thing after that, the cameras just stopped working. Like I'm talking every single battery we had was literally drained less than 3 minutes into recording. Mind you, every single one of them, we had a backpack full of batteries that we had souped up. All of them were rechargeable batteries. The batteries that we had in the backpack were actually brand new batteries. Every single one of them were a no-go. Like they just did not work. Nothing worked. And we were trying to figure out the reason why they didn't work. We couldn't come up with any possibility besides that they've been drained. That's it. That's all that we could come up with. Like I said, myself being like trying to prepare for things like this, I wanted to make sure that we were at our utmost professional with what we were doing. And so I took it upon myself to make sure everything was charged. Several people saw that the batteries were fully charged. So I was at a loss at the ends for that one. Only thing we had left was the audio. Once again, batteries dying left and right on those. So the little stuff that we did have, we want to take back home and actually go over. Well, this is where it got weird, because pretty much when we got back to the house, all of the footage that we had was wiped. There was like the little footage that we actually did get, it was wiped. We had nothing. And on the way back, my nose started to bleed. It freaked a lot of people out, but to me, that wasn't a weird thing, basically because I had nosebleeds. I have nosebleeds all the time, so I really didn't look at it as a freakish or weird thing. There's no proof that me having a nosebleed is like a spirit attack or anything like that, or an entity trying to hop in my body or anything like that. Basically, because I have them all the time. Now, mind you, if this would have happened to like my cousin or another one of our associates that we know doesn't have nosebleeds, then yeah, it would have made a lot more sense. But since it was me, I'm just like, maybe the dry humidity had got to me. The dry heat really just did a number on me, that type of thing. After that was said and done, we were trying to see maybe the data wasn't lost, maybe it was corrupted. We looked through, we did everything. it was like we never recorded at all. It was like literally we were in a muted triangle in a funeral that we had got permission, or not funeral, but in a graveyard where we got permission to do the recordings. So I think once again, like I said, that was really insane that we had nothing from this. But like I said, I did gain a lot of experience doing that. We went back, we did it again, and we actually ended up getting footage, but it wasn't what we wanted. There was nothing showing anything spectacular. A lot of people will tell you that, oh, if you see orbs in a picture, or you see different specks, or the body seems like it's morph, or you see a second layer over, that's something special. I'm here to tell you that if you see orbs, most likely if you're outside or you're inside, doesn't really matter. If your house is actually quite dusty, and like I said, if you have fans in your house, you have dust, okay? Like that's the thing. If you have carpet, you have dust. If you were able to like run around your room several times and take a picture, most likely you would see an orb, basically because it's a dust particle. It could be literally a picture or the light reflecting off of a bug's wing, okay? It actually makes the exact same picture of an actual orb. So you can't actually say, oh, I got a ghost. You can't count that as a ghost experience. And I don't want to bust anybody with bubbles out there who are trying to be spirit detectives or anything like that. Not like Yu Yu Hakusho, of course. You got to have a spirit gun. Probably got to get hit by a car, or know somebody who probably lived through those experiences and all of that stuff. But back to what I was saying, you have to have physical proof. You have to have something like on tape. And the thing is, it's so hard to prove that what you have recorded is actually a ghost, basically because if it can be remimicked without special effects or anything like that, if it can actually be remimicked over, it can always be like, oh, well, you guys set this up. And you never want to be considered a phony when it comes to actually doing ghost detective work. It definitely, if you're trying to be professional about it. Once again, I'm not really professional about it. I wasn't professional, but I can't consider myself professional at all. And that's one of the major things that I tell a person who's doing it. You can do this stuff all day just for fun, but at the end of the day, you're not a professional. Okay, with that being said, I'm going to switch to the next subject, and which will be, did you know even when you are feeling like something is watching you, one of the main things about that is that, do you know it could actually be an electromagnetic pulse that you are actually picking up? Like, your body is nothing but electric nerves. So when you have a high voltage or something going through your house, or you're under, let's say, a Pacific light bulb or something, like, you can hear it. Like, me and my wife, we have a bulb in the kitchen that makes a noise like all the time, and we never really turn it on. We use the one over the sink, or we use the one over the oven. That's the only time that we'll actually ever use the lights in the kitchen. And so with that being said, if you leave those lights on, most likely you tend to actually build up that electromagnetic pulse in your body, which will make you feel more paranoid. Definitely, like I said, if I walk into the kitchen over time, and I'm like to say, I'm the only person at the house, and I feel like someone is right behind me or someone's watching me, that type of feeling, it could be due to the electrodes or the electric waves that are literally coming through this light bulb or these electric sockets or something like that. That's why if you actually look at ghost detectives, like actual real ghost detectives, I would have to say it like that, real ghost detectives actually will do this all the time, because it's actually well known, and it's actually a proven fact that being under things that could have high electro waves actually will make you paranoid. Believe it or not, they actually will make you paranoid, and also make you feel like someone's watching you, make it feel like someone is probably tugging at you, and really it's all a pigment of your imagination. Like, so that's one thing that I would definitely want to say to you guys on that and leave on that note. Like I said, this is going to be pretty much it right now, but I just want to leave you guys on that note that just really think about your possibilities. Maybe what you're feeling is not really a ghost. Maybe it's, electric waves. Maybe it is something that you've seen before. A lot of times we believe that a person is, ill or crazy or bewitched basically because we've seen a movie and we're like, oh my gosh, that person is maybe like this, and it's really not the fact, or maybe we think things differently about how we feel due to these electro waves and stuff like that. And that opens up other suggestions to other podcasts that I plan on doing in the future when I do more study on electric waves and what they may be harmful to. So thank you guys for paying attention and also staying through this podcast. I want to give a special shout out to one of my coworkers at work for being literally a day one subscriber. I have to thank this guy so much. His name is Chris. I appreciate you so much, man. Like I said, I do have a gift card coming your way, so just be prepared, be patient. I got you, man. You guys have a good one. Don't forget to scratch and scar the living hell out of that like button for me. And if you like my podcasts, please also subscribe. Thank you guys, and you have a good one. This is the Black Oni signing out in 3, 2, 1.
This is a Black Oni. I work for mine. That means I make money for time. I'm getting all day. I slave always in doing what I can. I'm making money, getting stacks so I can get myself out of situations. That means debt. I'm killing these checks. I'm getting everything how I'm doing when I'm getting it. Like I'm break.